Hey, it's me again. So this is part three now, where I'm just going through these questions, turning out to be bigger questions to answer than I expected. So the next one is um, most underrated series. Now that for me is very easy. No, there's two actually. No, there's three. I'm going to give three. One of them I've done a video on before, and it's Thriller. And it was a 12-issue series, originally drawn by Trevor Van Eden, and then Alex Nino took over on the artwork. Whoa! That's all I can say. Check it out. Check it out from eBay. Try the argument. You will not be disappointed. It was in the 80s before. It just stood out in the 80s. It was completely out there. And then the second one is American Flag from Howard Chaykin. Don't bother with the ones when he wasn't involved in the artwork. Just stick to the first, I think it was 12 or so issues, what he did. And wow, gorgeous artwork and progressive storytelling. He was the one writer. Yeah, he brought sex into comics basically, but he's one writer who's never afraid to shout from the rooftops that he was a liberal, and that wound a lot of people up. But for me, I applaud that. And then the third one is Paul Chadwick with Concrete. That comic gives you the feels. It's basically a real world version of what would happen if you were the Thing. So he's a presidential speechwriter who is from Dark Horse Comics. He's a presidential speechwriter who got abducted by aliens and experimented on, and they basically strips his outer body and put the remains of his body inside this concrete body, exoskeleton body kind of thing. So basically it's like the Thing but without any cracks on the body. And it's basically saying, instead of it being this like in Fantastic Four, Ben's a fighter pilot and he's all really manly, but Concrete, no, he's just a speechwriter. So he's a little liberal, timid speechwriter, and he's got this group of friends who help him when he gets into this body, protects him from being treated like a freak and being extorted because of the strength that he's got in his body. And the stories are just so heartwarming and challenging and questioning. They cover things from everything from abuse, fracking, fame, the cost of fame. Each story, you never know what's going to happen, but yeah, way underrated. It's a classic from the 80s and 90s. What I don't think it's even in print anymore, the books, and it should come. They should bring them out in library bindings with really high quality production value, because the artwork is just beautiful artwork. So there we go. Favorite writer artist teams. That's easy. I'll try and keep it brief. So one of them, Carlos Square and John Wagner and Judge Dredd, they can't be matched. They just work in synchronicity so well. Fortunately, sadly, like I said, Carlos Square passed away. And then you've got Alan Moore, who has three teams of artists who he works so well with. First one, Steve Bissett and John Sosselman on Swamp Thing. Second, Dave Gibbons on Watchmen. Third, you have him working with Kevin O'Neill on quite a number of projects, but most popular, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And then the next, I'll just do three of them. The next favourite artist-writer team, of course, one of the most explosive teams in comics in the 90s, and that's Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. Again, may he rest in peace. They changed the face of Vertigo at that time. I think Vertigo, they'd hit the stride with Sandman and Doom Patrol and that, and then suddenly along came Preacher, which still had the energy of Vertigo, but it was brash. It was like the angry, illegitimate love child, and it didn't play safe. I mean, it was a book about killing God. Come on. So yeah, there we go. Fave single issue of a comic. Oh, that's easy. It's the first issue of. No, it's not. It's an issue of just. I'm going to change what I was going to say. I was going to say a standard one about Swamp Thing and Alan Moore, but I'm going to go for. I can't remember what issue it is. I've got it, but I just can't be bothered walking on and have a look for it. It's an issue of Justice League America or Justice League International, but the Keith Giffen and Jamie Mathias run, and it's it's the one comic that's had me laughing out loud. And it still does, no matter how often I read it. It's when Batman punches Guy Gardner. So Guy Gardner goes from being this brash, bigoted redneck, and after when he gets punched, he becomes Mr. Milquetoast. He becomes so bland and liberal and nice because the bang in his head changes his personality. Even Captain Marvel, or Shazam as he's called now, he comes across as tougher, as more hard than he is. So yeah, it's a perfect comic. Like I said, it's the first time I think comedy's worked in comics, in American comics. It's just brilliant. So yeah, that one. I'm nearly done now. Quite pleased. Worst issue of a good comic series. Ooh. Easy. Sandman #1. Because the rest, it only goes better from there. It's a very dry run. The first issue is very dry. It's finding its feet. It takes about 8 issues, 9 issues for it to find its feet. And yeah, so Sandman #1. Now, I don't know if they've just typed this wrong or if they mean this. Comic series that you've read most issues of. Hate read. Ooh. See, I don't really hate read. If I give a comic 2 issues, and if it's shit, and then I stop. So, I'm trying to think. What have I stopped? No, actually, I'll tell you. Easy. I'll do a recent one. Because I rant about them a lot at the moment. And it's the whole raft of X-Men now. I think Hoxpox was genius. It was brilliant. But then they should have left it and moved on to something else. But they're still stuck in Krakoa. And I think what they're doing now with Kieran Gillen, and this is very divided. Some people really like Kieran Gillen, what he's doing with Axe and that lot. And other people hate it. And I fall in the hating part. It's so dry, it's bland, and they're not doing anything new. They're just doing, and after all the shake-up and the big devastation that they'll do, it'll change again. It'll just go back to safe, so it'll just be reset again. But yeah, I just think they've made the X-Men titles so boring, and I was reading them for a long time, giving them a chance. And so yeah, I was hate reading like all the X-Men titles, going, oh come on, because thinking that they're not, because at one point they were getting good again. I thought, oh yes, they've done it, they've shaken off the whole baggage, but it's like they've just gone back to it, and it's just let's do 5 million crossovers. So yeah, as you can see, I'm getting angry about it. So yeah, I think the whole current batch of X-Men titles, including Legion of X, X-Men Red, etc., etc., etc. Too cross-FA centric and just dry. So, and the artists are interchangeable. So I think that's it. I think I've done them all. Yeah, so that's it. So thank you for those questions, and I enjoyed doing that. It was good. So next time it'll be an overview, I think, of a series or a book. If you want any suggestions that you'd like for me to look into or review, do drop messages at the bottom of this or any of the other videos, and I will try and do them if I can. But obviously, it's only a small channel. I don't get sponsorship from anybody. Any comics that I buy, I have to pay for them, and I'm not rich at all. So somebody sponsor me. In 2000 AD, sponsor me. DC, sponsor me, but they won't, because it's a hate crime. No, it's not. It's just because I'm tiny and an insignificant channel. Okay, bye.